All right. Hello, everybody. Oh, let me bring that audio down just a tad. Do it there. And let me pop myself out over here. So, hello, and welcome to the Noble Legacy debut pre-release gameplay stream. I am Scott. I'm a technical artist with Studio 369, and today we're just going to be kind of going through for about an hour or so and kind of just checking out, kind of showing what we have in the game so far and just kind of playing through kind of like our kind of intro prologue tutorial section, just to kind of give you a feel of what the kind of game that we're going for here, which is kind of a third-person city builder built in the kind of medieval era where you have, old-fashioned hamlets and buildings to hopefully build it up to once the great land that it used to be, with you as the long lost son of a noble lord coming back to the land once again. So we're gonna get it all booted up here in just a second, and then we'll hop right into it here. So without further ado, I'll get that all booted up here. Now, for people who are watching here, you'll have to let me know. We're trying out the multi-stream here, and if it's a little bit too unstable, let me know and I will drop it for the Twitch. But hopefully we're gonna have fingers crossed here that everything works out well. So far everything seems to be okay as far as I can see, so let's go right into it here. So we're gonna be right into the main menu here, and so there will be both kind of campaign, which is kind of more structured scenarios, which the tutorial section is one of those scenarios that are in there. And then you'll have a sandbox mode where you can kind of just be in any area and kind of just build up, the kingdom to what you want it to be. So kind of have the tools and have fun to play with what you want to do. So without further ado, let's go ahead and select and make our character. So we do have a character creator in here. I'll let out the kind of intro kind of texts here play out. But essentially, story-wise, you are part of long lost noble blood coming back to the land, and you're going to help reshape it to bring it back to what was its former glory. So as you can see in the character creator here, we have a couple of settings here that you'll see. Obviously, you can pick between, guy and a girl. I like being a guy, so that's what I'm going to pick today. And you can kind of, you do all the standard stuff, move the character around, kind of pan, zoom, and move the camera in any direction that you like. And then we have several different sliders here of being able to adjust the character, such as their size, how tall they are, if you wanted to have bigger muscles or not, or you want to have, a little bit of a bigger belly or not. So, and then, standard skin colors, you can kind of pick a variety of whatever ones you want. I'm just going to go ahead and give them just a slight tan here. We also have a variety of hairstyles and facial hair to pick from as well. With the addition of all these different hairstyles here that are kind of more appropriate to the era. We also, like I said, we have all of our different beards. Just kind of gonna cycle through those quick, and different mustaches that you can pair with them as well. So quite a couple of options here. And then you can also be able to adjust the color of your hair as well from both the tips and the root perspective. So if you wanted to have darker roots, but then you want to have slightly more blonde tips, you can kind of adjust that and adjust kind of the blend ratio between them. It's one of the things that I was able to help set up there. So you can kind of have any combination you want, or if you want to be a darker, kind of a more ginger red hairstyle, you can kind of mix it to have, again, like darker roots, but then have kind of a more of that brighter glow as what you would expect. So the option is truly yours. So I'm just going to go back to standard brown. So that's my hair color. And then in the face, we have tons of different sliders here to be able to adjust every little thing. And we even have, randomized buttons to be able to pick a random set of presets. excuse me, but we have a variety of heads here, to pick out from. So you can kind of, there'll be a little bit different head shapes, different facial structures. So you can go and cycle through those. You can even adjust individual details as well in all these different sections, the height of the jaw width, and, how much of an underbite, yada, yada, you get the idea. So tons of different settings to pick from here. So you can truly, you can make whatever character you truly want to make it in your spitting image or whatever image you have in your head. And there's also a couple of different texture sets to pick from as well. Kind of a similar story with the eyes here. Again, you can kind of pick, a variety of different eye colors here. I'm going to go with blue because, again, my eyes are blue. You can even adjust the scale of the irises and even the size of the pupils, so you can be, really pinpoint and you're super focused, or a bit more relaxed, maybe even a bit more of an anime look if that's what you want. The power is yours. And then again, same thing, adjust the height of the eyes, the size of them, big eyes, small eyes, the depth of the eyes, the kind of the eyeballs, ooh. And then kind of the inner pupillary, distance between the two. So lots of options there. And then if you, you can even do makeup options as well. So tons of different creations there. So I'm going to stick with my character here, and let's go ahead and give him a name. Give him my kind of handle name. And these are going to be kind of the different scenarios that you can kind of pick from here when you first load into the game. So you can see kind of like, this one's Long Winter, Greenwood Farm, and then a couple of these other ones are placeholder for right now, but we'll have those in the game. But we're going to start off with Greenwood Farm here, which is kind of our tutorial section, if you will, which is going to be kind of the main focus today, and maybe future streams as well, because even though it's a similar, gameplay loop, again, with you'll see when we have the buildings and other tools that you have access to in there, you have a lot of different choices to pick from in there. So let's go ahead and hit start, and we will load in there. So we'll give that a quick second here. So let's see, double check all of the stats here. Everything seems to be going pretty smoothly here. So we have 4 viewers on Twitch. Welcome. And 2 followers. Thank you very much. And it looks like we're doing stable on YouTube as well. Oh, we're in.
Sitting in my father's tent and listening to stories of home. The trees are taller than I expected.
Let us pass through this place quickly, my lord. There is a certain abode in Green Warden that I have a great desire to see again after such a long time away.
Be patient, Edward. I'd like to meet some of my people. The farm should be at the other end of this road. We should go and check on it.
So, like I said, so this is where you'd be first dropped in here, and you'll kind of see our created world here that's a bit, we try to go for a, semi-realistic look, and I think we've pretty much got there at a pretty good bar as well. In terms of performance, which is one of the things that I had to spend a lot of time focusing on here to get it all working, I think we're doing pretty good. So I'm playing this natively at 4K, and we do have different options in terms of upscaling and other features to pick from in here, but with multi-frame generation off, and with DLSS set to just anti-aliasing, so basically native 4K, I'm able to get around 100 to 110 FPS on a 4090. So yes, it is a more powerful car, but I think for the visuals we're able to push, not bad. And again, you can have all those settings to be able to pick from and to adjust what you like. So I'm just going to kind of hide my camera here for a second, so you can kind of just, take a look at the world that our wonderful art team has been working on and building in here. Just a bunch of details with all the, little butterflies around, the sun in the sky, the god rays, all of them are there. There's even a tiny lens flare just to make, I don't know, J.J. Abrams happy. but we're dropped in here. We're going to be walking over to, turn up the volume there. We're going to be walking over to our Greenwood Farm, and this is kind of a preset area here. So all these buildings are, you know, kind of in a typical hamlet structure here. So we have our, you know, standard couple different variety of homes here, kind of like our taller home in the back there, and then over on the side we have two other, you know, smaller homes as well, and a couple of villagers to start off with. So let's go ahead on in there and
This place seems a bit run down. I wonder what befell these people.
Let us find out.
so this other character here in this kind of colorful outfit here is Edward, who is a relative of yours who's going to basically kind of help you along your way of being able to aid you in bringing this village back to its former glory here. So the first thing he wants us to do is our, well, first steps, speak with Alma and Edward. So let's go speak with Alma. Go ahead and click the talk button.
Hello, traveller. Welcome to Greenwood Farm. Our larder is a bit meagre these days, but you're welcome to a warm fire and some mushroom stew if you need a rest.
Do you know not who you address, woman? This is the rightful lord of this land, and he owns this farm and everything within it.
Yeah, Edward can be kind of annoying, so I'm going to tell him to calm down.
Calm yourself, Edward. You are most generous to offer such hospitality. Might I offer to help in return?
Yes, my lord. Thank you, my lord.
This place has everything it needs to succeed. Fertile ground, plenty of trees, good clean water, with fish and game for hunting. Why do these people struggle so?
These people are but poor farmers. They need a firm hand to guide them. All best done from Green Warden, my lord. Let us continue.
We need to expand this settlement in order to attract more good folk to work this land. We should start by cutting down some trees.
All right, so we need to go ahead and help, you know, bring up the village back there. So the first thing that we're going to have you do is to kind of gather some wood and cut down some trees. So we're going to head over to the handy storage kind of supply wagon here, supply cart. And we'll go ahead and take the axe that's in there.
At least this sorry excuse for a village has an axe to spare.
Show a bit of grace, please. Let's gather enough lumber to make a small hut.
Yeah, calm down, Edward. All right, so we're going to go and cut down a tree. So we're going to head over to the tree over here. And we're going to equip our axe, which if you're using keyboard and mouse is by hitting 2. And then we're going to gather some lumber. So go ahead and chop it all down here. And then have it topple down over. Ooh, timber. And then we're going to go ahead and chop down the rest of the tree here. So, and we'll see when we do this, we're going to be gathering lumber, which is going to be marked in the top left over there. And yeah, so go ahead. I think there's around about 10 lumber per tree, but you know, probably varies per size.
At least this sorry excuse for a
ahead
village
and
has an
finish
axe
it.
to spare.
Oh, there's a
Show
little
bit
bit
of
more.
grace, please. Let's
11,
gather enough lumber to make a small hut.
12. Wow, generous tree, 13. And then again, if you want to subsequently unequip something, you just hit the same key that you equipped it with. So hit 2, and you can put away the axe. So now we got some lumber to be able to use, but we need to kind of, we want to be able to place it down and to build some homes. So we have a nice empty plot here, and then we're going to be able to open up the build menu here. And this is kind of a radial menu, as you can see, so you can either cancel building, and then we have other options to select here as well, kind of what we would typically assume is your more the options you're probably going to be picking the most, but you can always hit up in the all items here, and it's going to be highlighted for you in the tutorial to show you that in order to start really any major building foundation, you need a, well, foundation. So we're going to pick the foundation square, and then we're going to place it right in here. So we have kind of a color-based system where, you know, if it's blue, you're good, but if it's red, you can't build in that area for many reasons. In this case, Edward staying in the way, but if it's in a blue, you're good. And then when you place it down, it'll turn white, kind of as a representation of the area they're going to be building. But we need a hammer in order to build here, as you can see. So hitting 1 equips our hammer, and we're going to go ahead and build the foundation. There we go. So now we need to build some stairs. So again, well, we're going to go ahead and follow more of the tutorial session. I know the stairs are right here, but we'll go ahead and get all items, wood foundation stairs. And you'll be able to see here that everything is kind of organized in categories. So that way, if you are building anything that's, structural, like foundations, walls, stairs, it's going to be under the structural area. If there's anything that's going to be related to, production, whether that makes items or makes money or whatever it may be, it'll be under production, so on and so forth. But we'll get to those as we come across them in the tutorial here. So we're going to go ahead and build the stairs. I'm going to place it right in the center here. You can even kind of snap stairs in different positions or whatever. So you can have in the right or in the left or in the center. You can kind of just place it. You can even, rotate them as well. But let's go ahead and build our stairs here. All right, so now we need to build 3 wood walls. So again, F, all items, and then in our wall section here that's highlighted, go ahead and place our 3 walls. And then to kind of get out of the build menu here, so we're not continue building, you just hit right click to cancel it. And now we'll go ahead and build on these walls. So I see we got a couple of viewers on both Twitch and YouTube now. So again, welcome. Feel free to chat in there with questions you might have, and I'll answer them to the best of my ability. But welcome everybody on this Monday afternoon. So welcome. All right, so now we have our 3 walls. Now we need to build a gabled roof. So again, go into the same all item build menu, all items structured. And then we're going to do a wood gabled roof here. Let's go ahead and rotate it so that way, maybe it's just me, but like if I were to build the roof this way, I feel like the water would come down the area that you're trying to get into. So let's do it this way. And then we'll go ahead and build it there. All right. So the whole point of this building here is that we're going to help you set up a woodcutter station. You got to be able to get more wood, but you need to not always be able to doing the wood cutting yourself. So we have this structure built here. I'm going to go ahead and hide my camera for a split second here that we just built here. So again, we took a lot of time in detail to be able to kind of get that medieval aesthetic that you would expect from this time and era. And with our, global illumination, I feel like we get some really nice lighting contrast, with shadowy areas and areas that are a bit more lit. So we're going to go ahead in here, and then we're going to open up our woodcutter's bench, which this is the first item that is in our production tab, and then go ahead and click that. So you can see that there's this other kind of green arrow that's alongside the blue here. The green arrow is for the future, is where when we have our AI interacting with these objects here, that's going to be the area they approach and interact with this. So you kind of want to have the AI facing inwards towards that. So I'll go ahead and place that there. And there we go. So now we have that built, and we need to build a log pile on the foundation as well. We need a place to be able to have the logs that are cut to be stored. So we're going to go ahead, all items, production, log pile. Rotate that around, and then place.
Our settlement will need more lumber and planks. One of these villagers should be able to take over from here.
That stout lad of theirs looks like he has some strength. He would make a good woodcutter.
So the game is already implying it here, but we can assign villagers to be able to do these kind of menial tasks for us. We're royalty. We have bigger problems to concern ourselves with. We don't always have time to just cut straight lumber ourselves. So what we can do is we hit K, and this is kind of going to open up kind of your kingdom statuses and a lot of other important metrics. So for right now, most of this you don't really have to worry about. But what we are going to go to is that up in the top here, we have our buildings tab, and going into our buildings tab, you can see this is the woodcutter we just built. Because if I were to close out of this, there should be a, I'm not sure why, maybe it's because I hit K, but basically it'll mark this building in the area with kind of with a UI icon that says woodcutter, like woodcutter's bench. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the woodcutters here, and then we can see all of our available work. I'm going to hide my camera. We can see we have all of our available workers over here in all of these different roles. So for this one building, we can have 2 lumberjacks, people that are going to go out and cut down the trees, and we can have 1 Sawyer, who's going to, take those wooden logs from the pile and then turn those into planks. So right now we just need more lumber. We don't really have to worry too much about planks right now. So we're going to take Fred, which we can just click and drag, and we're going to assign him to lumberjack.
Mushrooms, mushrooms, mushrooms. If I have to eat another mushroom, I'll be sick. We should sell some of these wretched things to whoever is stupid enough to buy them.
Good idea, Uncle. Then we can further invest in this little village.
All right,
Yes,
so
something of the
we're
sort.
going to go ahead and interact here. We have some leftover lumber here, which see by pressing I, this is what opens up our inventory. So we have five lumber here. So, but we need to make these lumber into planks. So we just go over to our kind of crafting bench here. Again, a lot of these animations and other things are going to be a little bit placeholder right now. So we'll have this, a bit more polished later, because this is an early build. And we'll go ahead and get our last 10 planks. So, all right, so now we're going to go to the next building plot, which is conveniently right next to the other one that we just built. So going in here, building plot, and then we need to build at least 2 foundations for the storehouse. And let's see. And then go ahead and place one about here, and then place one here. Build a hammer. So now we're going to see we're in a little bit of a situation here where it's going to be like, oh no, I actually don't have enough of the lumber that I need, so I need to go grab more. Let's see if, well, there's Fred there. So Fred, with axe in hand, so maybe he's going to have some lumber in a second that he'll bring over to the storehouse, or the woodcutters area that we just built. But for right now, I'm going to go ahead and cut down another tree and gather some additional wood myself. But in the future, we'll be able to go over to the log pile, which we'll probably use later. So let's go ahead and fell this tree. Go ahead and cut this down. There we go. And go ahead and continue to chop it. Go ahead and grab a little bit of water while we're doing this here. Opening it with one hand. All right. So we got our 9 lumber there, which should be enough for now, I believe. So let's head back over to our 2 wooden foundations here. Equip our hammer to build by pressing 1 and build.
Well done, my lord.
There we go. And in a little bit of addition here, I'm just going to build a little bit of stairs to kind of get up on the foundation a bit easier. You can mantle, wooden foundations without them, but I don't know. I like it to look a little bit nicer. So now we're going to be, basically, it's going to be teaching you to set up your merchant's kind of station here. So we're going to be putting a merchant's ledger, and then also storage. So basically a place for the items to be sold, and a place where the sold items are being, or the items to be sold are held. So we're going to go ahead and build in our merchant's ledger. So go ahead, open up our build menu, all items, services, and then here is our merchant's ledger, which is going to be, you can see all the cost of items here, along with a description of the items as well. So the merchant's desk serves as a place for customers and merchants to voice complaints or make inquiries of the guild master, and it costs 5 planks, and we have 50 of them, so we have enough. So let's go ahead and build the merchant's ledger here. Again, the area that the AI is going to approach it, keep that in mind, but I'm going to have it kind of facing outwards, so let's do it this way. There we go. And now we need a market storage. So again, all items, services, and here's the market storage. 5 planks as well. I'm going to rotate it so that way it's kind of facing the ledger we just made. And there we go. So now you're also going to see this pop up from time to time, and where it says complete the storehouse, view maintenance requirements in the buildings menu. So, and you can even see right here, this is kind of the icon I was talking about. So this has marked this foundation as a storehouse based on the items that are placed on there. And there's a little bit of a caution sign here. So if we hit K and we click over to the storehouse here and go to maintenance, we can see that it's going to want certain requirements in order to make a kind of building. So in order to the bare minimum of a storehouse, you're going to need a market desk and a market storage. So that's kind of the like, all right, the you're gonna need those, but it's saying here that the requirements are not met for this tier, which we're talking about basically tier 1. And where we need to add more structural pieces or decorations, and the building efficiency is reduced. So to me, you know, I'm going to add a couple of more walls here that are structural to kind of protect our market storage here, you know, if I'm, you know, thinking about it logically. So let's go ahead. We'll go ahead and hop over to our kind of quick bar selections here. So let's build some wood walls. I'm going to kind of build them kind of surrounding the market here. Let's see if I can get over here. There we go. And then we'll go ahead and build those walls. Now, we may need to put a roof over this as well, but we'll see when we get there. I'm going to guess it's probably going to require a roof. But that's all right, because we have the lumber that we just cut down. Oh, no, we don't need a roof. Okay, we're good. All right. So now we need to go and gather some mushrooms to sell. So now I remember seeing them along the road over here. So let's go ahead and run back up a bit. See, Fred is still cutting down some trees, doing the Lord's work. Thank you, Fred. And let's head back over on the road up here. I remember seeing some mushroom patches right here. Oh, there's the deers. We do have a couple of different wildlife in the game as well. So it's going to go ahead and harvest these mushrooms here. I'm going to need 10 of them. And we'll gather these mushrooms, and then we'll be bringing them back over to the market storage. So let's go ahead. We got our 10 mushrooms. Now let's go to the market storage here. You can see it's already getting kind of late in the day. Let's see if Fred. Excuse me. You place them in the log pile. So Fred has been placing all of the logs in the log pile here. So now there's all 57. So that's 57 lumber, or about almost 6 trees worth that we did not have to cut down. So thank you, Fred. Thank you for your service. All right. So we're going to go ahead and add the mushrooms to the market storage here. So we can either, there's 2 options to store. So we can either left click to store one, or we can right click to store all of them. So let's do that. And now it's going to say we need to build a farm market stall near the road. So let's see if we can either build it right across the street from our kind of market ledger area, or if we can just kind of build it right here, right next to it. So let's do right here in the corner. Edward, you need to not be there. All right.
The first villager we spoke to seemed jovial enough. Perhaps you should run the market stall.
So now we're going to assign Alma to our market storage here. So again, what we can do is we can hit K, go to our buildings tab, and then click market stall. And then with Alma here, just put her right there. So now we've set up a market, but we need to tell that we're selling the mushrooms that we just put in our market storage here. So opening up our storehouse here, we can see all of the other items that we can sell here. So you can basically sell any resource that you can find there, from the berries in the bushes, mushrooms, eggs from chickens, fish, fruit, the wood planks, excuse me, but we need to mark them as for sale. So what we need to do is there's this bag icon right here, and we can click that.
Now that we have goods for sale,
That's marked for
visitors
sale.
will start to visit the town and spend gold here.
And it's getting kind of dark, so I might use some cheats here to
Surrounding country, my lord.
change it to
Travellers,
daytime in a
poor
second
farmers
here,
and so
but
on, visiting the nearest town to trade their mouldy potatoes for whatever shiny things we're willing to sell. God willing, they'll bring some gold with them to this place so we can swindle, trade them for it.
oh, Edward. So now we're gonna have two kind of travelers walk in here. So we're gonna go over here and take a look at what we have to sell over here. And hopefully this is how you'll be able to earn some gold by selling your resources that you had. So they're going to be approaching the market there, and they're going to kind of interact with it.
But I could use some excitement from time to time.
And there we go. So now we got 10 gold,
Quiet is
and we
nice.
sold our
Could use some excitement from time to
we sold
time.
our mushrooms. So I guess I'll take the opportunity since it's dark here. We do have kind of a day-night cycle in terms of, you know, the brightness, as well as, you know, with people kind of wanting to sleep. And you can kind of see the kind of how different it looks, you know, at night. You can see all the stars, you know. You wish you could see that many stars today with all of our, you know, of our light pollution and everything out there. But we'll need to head over down to the lake here because we need to learn how to fish. So let's head on over to the lake
I
here.
was out walking this morning and noticed a small lake over yonder. The fish were practically leaping out of the water. If we had a small jetty near the lake, we could easily have some lovely fish for dinner. I noticed some of our visitors dropping by the market stall asking for fish. Many are leaving disappointed. If we are able to sell fish, we can earn more gold and entice more visitors to our settlement.
Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to build a jetty, which is under the production tab. And then this is kind of a platform from which villagers can fish from. So we should need to make sure that it is over the lake here. So let's go ahead and build it just like so. You'll need a hammer. All right. So now we're up on the jetty
Now
here.
to see if this lake can deliver anything edible.
So again, to equip your fishing rod is 3. Then you can hold E to cast out here, and we need to go ahead and catch some fish. So go ahead. You know, fishing is it's not super fast here, but you know, it is kind of a realistic approach. So I'm gonna go ahead and fish here and catch some fish. But you know, in the meantime, while we're kind of waiting here, you know, hope so far you can kind of get an idea of the kind of game that we're going for here, and we hope that you're all very interested in this when we release the game in early access soon. But yeah, it's, you know, kind of a bit of a more grounded approach to where, you know, with other typically with other, you know, city builders that you have here, they're a bit more you know, always kind of in a bird's eye perspective and kind of like an overview. And we do have a camera like that if you do wish to kind of, you know, view your city like that. But we wanted to have more like you're in the city that you have built yourself, and where you can kind of go through and
Well,
interact with it
but I have better things to do with my time than stand
on a
around
more
with the
intimate
bar
level.
net all day.
So
We should see if we can convince one of these poor souls to move to our village and help catch fish.
We have no more housing for another villager. We'll need to build another house.
You know best, my lord. Perhaps we can use an existing schematic for this hut. You know how I hate to dawdle with the minutiae.
So we need to have a person who is fishing basically full time, but villagers need to have shelter in order to be interested in staying in your village. So what I'm going to do, we're going to be building another house, but building it from scratch you can do. But what if you just kind of want a version of the home that you're building and just kind of have like a pre-built? Well, we have prefabs, so we can go ahead. Let's say I want to kind of, I don't think there's anything super important here. No. So let's say I want to build the house here. It's relatively close to the lake, so it'll be really convenient for the fishermen to be able to wake up and go fish. So we're going to go ahead and F all items. And then in this tab over on the top left here, above all of our other categories that we have here, we have prefab. So clicking that and clicking housing. These are all of prefabs. These are either ones that we've made or ones that you have made. And a lot of these are ones that I've made in my previous saves. So we'll go ahead and click basic house here. Click it there. And now we need to complete the house. So, but before we do that, we're going to need materials. So let's head over to the woodcutter station to be able to get some wood. And there's Fred, who's already putting some more wood in there. Thank you, Fred. So let's go ahead and grab a couple. 30 should be good enough. And now we're going to head on down. And then head right back over to our home. Alright, so again, hit 1 to equip the hammer, and then let's go ahead and build this out. So I'm going to start with the foundation. And you'll see like, oh, there's a bush kind of coming through the house right now. As soon as you build the foundation, it'll kind of clear out all the vegetation and kind of blend it in with the world. So there we go. Go ahead and build all of our walls as well. This one even comes with a door frame.
Best keep moving. No sense in standing idle.
Oh, calm down, Edward. Yes, hello, Edward. Monitoring me very closely. Oh. Go ahead and build the roof as well. I must have hit the upgrade button by accident. So I guess we're kind of jump ahead a little bit here. But one of the things that you can also do, there are certain kind of tiers of housing. So we kind of have in the buildings all over here kind of a standard building layout. But you can upgrade them to have more nicer materials. So this is kind of more of a brick layout versus wood. And then we also have later tiers that use stuff, say like stone. Let's see, it probably needs to build the front wood gable wall. So we'll go ahead and craft that as well. All right, and then we're gonna need one more maintenance thing probably. So let's go ahead and build a door. You know, you're gonna want a door to your home, which I believe is under decoration. Yep. Place that there and build.
It seems
There we
we're a
go.
candidate for our fishery. Let us see if she is skilled enough to catch my evening supper.
So from time to time, you're going to have people who want to join your village who are interested. And so at this point, we're going to have Alice here. And Alice, it has a certain set of skills here, which is foraging and fishing. So perfect. So we're going to go ahead and accept her to welcome her to our village to be our new, to work at the fishery. So again, we're going to hit K to go to our buildings menu and go to our fishery here. And it can hold 2 people, but for right now, we're going to have Alice be one of our fisheries so that Alice can fish for us so we don't have to. Kind of like how Fred is cutting wood. So next, we're going to need to put in 10 fish into the market storage because we're going to want to be able to put that on the market as well and get some really nice money, more than just some mushrooms. So let's go ahead. You can see the gold that we collected before by selling the mushrooms. So we're going to go ahead and put the 5 fish that we collected in there before. And you see more new villagers kind of walking in here to take an interest in our village. Yeah. So I think I'm going to kind of use developer's tools and kind of fast forward a little bit here so we can get to the daytime. So pardon the everybody kind of, you know, moving all fast like that. Yeah, and take a sip of water real quick. But you can see all the people kind of interacting with the village and moving about. Days and nights are pretty long. Oh, I forgot the music kind of overloops each other, so I'm going to go ahead and mute the music for a bit until that stops, but that'll take a couple of minutes, but that should all right. There we go. It's coming up on sunrise. Let me go ahead and mute the music there so you don't have to hear that. All right, there we go. So now we have a nice golden sunrise here. So it seems that we don't have quite Alice getting all the fish working out here, so we're going to go ahead and do the fishing ourselves here. So we're going to go ahead and do this again, early access. There's some things that we're going to have to fix out here, but to be able to get all the simulation stuff working, you know, it's gonna take some time. So you know, we do what we can here. So I'll go ahead and get the rest of the fish here. So I'll go ahead and catch that. But in the meantime, actually, let me, where is it? Go ahead and put that on there in the meantime so we can have some sort of background music. But you know, we'll have that all casting out there. Let's see, we'll take a look at our numbers here. Oh, we got a couple of viewers on YouTube, and we got almost up to 10 on Twitch. So welcome. Thank you for 3 people who have followed on Twitch. Thank you, and those of you who liked it on the stream on YouTube. So thank you very much. You know, greatly appreciate that. But again, we're probably planning to do a couple more streams in the very near future to be able to show off more of the game that, you know, again, hopefully to have released in early access soon, so that everybody else can get their hands on it, and you can give us some wonderful feedback on things to kind of update, fix, change. But again, all this is kind of an early patch here, so but yeah, thank you for viewing, you know, on a Monday afternoon in the middle of the day. So yeah, so all right, let's go ahead and see if that is enough fish. I think it is. Yep, exactly enough. So let's go ahead back on over. Go ahead and reduce that volume just a tad. All right. And head on over to the market storage here and put in the fish that we just captured. Put it there. All right. So now they're kind of explaining there, and I'm going to kind of talk over them there. So now we just had our fish in the market, but it's not selling yet. So what we need to do is to actually market for selling. So we again open up our market storage, or market, just a market, and then like we did for clicking the mushrooms here, we're going to click the same thing for the fish. And there we go. Go ahead and just volume that a bit. There we go. And so now we need to earn some gold by selling the mushrooms and the fish here. So we're going to see if those villagers sell it. But and in the meantime, we'll go ahead and kind of take a look around the rest of the village that we haven't quite explored it. Let's see if the music has kind of fixed itself here. I think we're good. Jump that back up. There we go. So something is bothering Fred here, and this is going to be one of the other aspects of the game as well, is that you're going to have to maintain the villagers themselves. You know, they're peoples. They're going to have morale. They're going to have you know, certain needs and wants that you're going to have to take care of. You know, they're not just workers. You know, they're going to need to have you know, requirements fulfilled. So let's go ahead inside the house here and talk to Fred.
My lord, thank goodness you're here. I saw a strange man skulking around the woods. I think I've seen him before. We've had bandits stealing from us for months, sir, and we usually barricade ourselves in the house when they come. I would fight, but we have no weapons.
Leave it to us.
All right, so we're gonna have to deal with these thieves that are stealing. So you can see the thieves are already coming back in again, and these are kind of random events that can happen, so we need to stop this thief here. So we're going to equip our short sword and fight. Oh, didn't quite block that. Oh, he parried me. Oh gosh. There we go. Not my best fighter ever, but, you know, there we go. Remove him from there. Alright, so now we're going to need to build another house prefab. So we got a nice, kind of an open plot over here, or we can kind of squeeze one in here, maybe. Let's see if we can squeeze another one in here. I mean, it's not my house. Alright, let's build it right here.
To relax and drink some ale would really liven up this little settlement. I'd wager we'd attract a good deal more visitors if we had a cosy tavern to warm our cockles at night. It seems there is a well-known tavern keeper who is interested in joining us. He's a bit more discerning than the usual peasants in these parts. We'll need to improve one of the houses to suit his needs.
Alright, so next we're going to be working on a tavern. You know, gotta be able to have a place to sit down, grab some drinks after a hard day's work. So we're going to go ahead and finish out the house here. So we're going to have Billy, who is going to be our tavern keep, but he'll show up in the kind of recruits tab as you would with anybody else. And you'll see that one of his skills is to be able to, well, maintain a tavern. So let's go ahead and build the rest of this home here where Traveler is coming in. Go ahead and build up this wall here. A little tricky to get the building right, so let's see if we can adjust that in the future. Maybe we'll have some sort of like scaffolding or something like that to go up there. Oh, we need some wood planks. That's all right. I can head over to our woodcutters area and turn some of our planks or some of our wood logs into planks. Don't need many. There we go. That should be enough. And let's head back over here and build up our last wall. Oop. Ooh, did we freeze? Let's give it a second. Might recover here. Let's see. Oh. We'll go ahead and try that out real quick. Again, early build, so there's going to be bound things to happen with it. I think we might have soft locked. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and see if I can recover this area. We do have an autosave feature, so give me 1 second here to get this all back up and fixed. Go ahead and do that right now. Well, I don't remember the last time it auto-saved, but we'll see how far we can kind of get back into it. So, so sorry about that. 1 second. Go ahead and kind of enjoy the music of the game in the background here, you know, all kind of classic medieval. Oh, we see we got a first time chatter. Hello, Timeless 1. Can't find the game to wish list when it's supposed to be coming out. We are going to be having our Steam page up soon. It's not quite out there yet. We do have, I can show you, we do have a website with that's up, which is noblelegacygame.com, with all of our other socials on there as well that you can check out and get a bit more information. But it is coming soon on the Steam wish list, so just gonna need a little bit more time on there. You know, it's part of it is on our end of when we put it out on there to get the greatest amount of visibility. If we do it early, it kind of hurts us in the long run, so that's why it's not out there yet, but very soon. But again, noblelegacygame.com is our website where you have more information about the project, along with all link to all of our socials out there. So be on the lookout for that. Let's see if we can head back in here. There we go. And let's hop back to our campaign. Go ahead and continue, hopefully where we were. I think we got the auto-saving feature in this build. If not, then I'll kind of speed up when we can have a couple of developer tools to be able to speed up the process and get back a bit quicker than we otherwise normally would.
Shall we go talk to him and see what has him troubled?
All right. So it looks like oh boy. All right. I'll go ahead and use some developer tools here. Let's see. Oh gosh. Oh, hello. Yeah, I bet the VD can't talk right now. We might see. Let's see. Complete. No. All right. Well, I think for the time being, I'll just kind of show other features what we can do, because we already are getting close to an hour here. And I have other work stuff to do, in the day. But let me show you a couple of other features of what you're able to do. So I mentioned upgrading earlier with being able to upgrade the walls here. Like we go from a wood building here to a brick building. So I'm going to go ahead and go up to the side, hit Q, and then hit upgrade. You will need a certain amount of the material that you're going to be upgrading it with. But I'm just going to kind of demonstrate it here now with kind of some sheets to show the upgrades that are possible. So we'll go ahead and upgrade the walls to brick, and then kind of have a nice stone floor base here. And upgrade basically every surface. And get our last wall over here. Then we're also going to need to be able to get the wood gable walls up here as well. Getting a little bit hard to reach, but still doable. There we go. And I believe we have one more on the far side over here. Yep. Oh, go ahead and don't need that showing. Go ahead and hide that. There we go. All right, so, and I think we can do doors as well. Oh, not yet. So again, go ahead and you can see how the interior of the home, has changed, or really for any building rather, where it's a different feel, and get a nice cozier feel, and it's a lot more options in the later game for how you want it to look. And the whole goal with all this is to kind of get a certain feel of progression, of where you start off with just kind of a couple of buildings, kind of like some huts, then maybe like a hamlet, then to like a village, and then maybe a kingdom later after that with more exotic materials, say like stone, and build your own castles with kind of our modular building systems. And and that's one of the things that you can kind of just have fun and go nuts with the sandbox mode. But we can kind of go ahead and explore the other possibilities here. So we have like kind of some wheat, people sitting there. Looks like we have a place to cook. We can kind of light the campfire here. Looks like we have a chicken coop and some, livestock over here. Go ahead and you can even harvest eggs. So, yeah. And then the other goal will be to kind of go out and get some other materials here. So, like, again, kind of using some sheets here to kind of bypass some of the stuff, but you'll need to find things like stone, and you're going to clearly need a pickaxe in order to mine the rock. Same thing with over here with these other interesting shades of rocks here. We're going to need some iron. Again, you'll need a pickaxe there, but in order to form some metal. But then other than that, you can just kind of explore the area here and the kind of the world that we built. And just kind of see all the foliage and rocks and trees. You know, maybe there's you know, buildings, or not buildings, mountains in the distance. We can also adjust the camera here. So we've always been kind of close in a tight third-person perspective behind our character, but we can zoom out quite a bit, and then it'll kind of dip down the further you get out, so you can kind of get a mini overview map. But we can even go ahead and take that one step further. Oh no. Oh man. All right, give me 1 second. I'll demonstrate that right back up. Again, it's an early build, so there's going to be things that are bound. Crashes are going to happen. Bugs are bound to be there. So go ahead and we'll go ahead and get that booted right back up. It'll be one of the last things that I'll kind of demonstrate here, as we are coming up to 1 hour. So let's go ahead and get that fired back up. I'll kind of show off kind of a tactical view that we have. And then just, you know, maybe if there are any last minute questions before I head off, and that I'd be happy to answer. So let's go ahead and get those settings all fixed back up. Yeah. So let's get this all fired back up here. So it'll take just a second here, but you know, for so far, hopefully you guys like what you are seeing here. And this is, you know, it's a game that for many of us on here that we all want to play in our own spare time. And it's definitely something that, you know, we enjoy dearly. Go ahead and get back into this. We'll see if the continue works a little bit better this time. So let's go ahead and get back in here. We'll see kind of where it is taken up here.
Shall we go talk to him and see what has him troubled?
Okay, so we're kind of back in the same thieves area. So go ahead and take a look. Oh. Let's see. We'll go ahead and take care of the thieves here again. I've seen you before. All right. Go ahead and can't talk now. Yeah, I bet he'll never be able to talk again. All right. So tactical view. So we go. So on the keyboard it's P, and this will go ahead and kind of have this wide overview of the area that you're trying to look at here. I'll go ahead and hide my camera for a split second here. And so you can kind of get an overview of the town. So if you kind of want to get a nice layout, so if you're trying to plan, say, a building somewhere, like, oh, is it going to look good in this plot, or do I need to move it somewhere else? Then I'll go ahead and hide that. Let's disable all screen messages. There we go. Do need to see all of the DevTools in there. But yeah, but you can kind of go out and explore and see all the buildings here, and you know, get an idea of your layout and of how you want to exactly plan it. So you have that, and then to simply return back to your character here, you just hit P, and there you go, and now you're back. So we understand that in the traditional sense with all these city builders, that's kind of the perspective that's mostly, you know, expected. So we did want to throw that in there, but we wanted to kind of differentiate and have a bit more of a grounded and more intimate feel with, you know, the people in your village that you're getting used to. Because you know, the villagers are what makes it go round and what makes it work. So, but otherwise, other than that, I think that might be it for today. So if there's any other last minute questions here, we can go ahead and take those maybe for like the next minute or so, and then I think we'll probably wrap up today. But so far, I think everything is kind of a success in here, and where we have both of our excuse me, our dual streams going on between YouTube and Twitch. We'll see about maybe doing more multi-stream stuff in the future, like further sites to be on. But it looks like for these two, looks like it's looking stable and looking pretty good. Yeah. So there's go ahead and take a sip of water here. Talking for a long time is it's quite tiring. Alrighty, so I think without further ado, I think that'll be about it for today. So if there are, again, we're going to probably have more of these multi-streams in the very near future to show off more stuff as we get more stuff into these builds. And, I'll probably be the one presenting it, but, if not, we have wonderful other people on the team as well. Who will put a lot of time and work into there. Maybe we'll explore other aspects of this, maybe from a more developer side of things, in terms of, maybe stuff that I worked on, or, other aspects that, we were trying to really focus on here. And, hopefully, you all find that very interesting. Oh, Toasted the Brown. That was pretty cool. Keep them coming. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for watching and coming in here and seeing this, and especially with its in its early state here. But again, hopefully we'll have that on the Steam page soon, so that you will be able to wishlist it. But for right now, you can follow our socials to keep you posted there. We're posting new shorts, new reels on Instagram, shorts on YouTube, a couple posts on our Twitter. I believe we also have a Blue Sky page as well, and I'll probably be here for all of the live stream stuff, so keep an eye out for that. And kind of until then, I think I'll see you next time. So take care and bye-bye for now.